All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are tearing down SanDisk's latest earnings call. And let me tell you, it is a big one. We're going to see exactly how this whole AI revolution we hear so much about isn't just code and algorithms. It is creating a massive physical shift in the world of data storage.
I mean, listen to this quote from the CEO, David Goeckeler. This is how he kicked off the call. The demand is exploding. You can just feel the energy, right? This perfectly sets the tone. He's not just talking about a good quarter. He is signaling that the game has completely changed.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the absolutely stunning numbers. Then we'll get into the AI boom that's behind it all. That leads to the big question. Can supply even keep up with this? From there, we'll look at SanDisk's big bet on technology. And finally, we'll try to figure out what all this means for the future.
So first up, just how good was this quarter? Let's dive right into the numbers that have everyone talking. Let's start with revenue. A massive $2.3 billion. I mean, that just completely blew past what everyone was expecting. But honestly, that's not even the most impressive part.
It's the growth behind that number. We're talking a 21% jump compared to the same time last year. You know, in this business, that kind of growth isn't just good, that's some serious momentum.
And then there's the bottom line, what it all comes down to. Earnings per share came in at $1.22, way ahead of what the analysts predicted. So the takeaway is pretty simple. The numbers are phenomenal. But the real story, the much more interesting story, is why.
And that why brings us right here to the AI data boom. The reason for those incredible numbers can be boiled down to two letters, AI. We are in the middle of an absolute explosion in the need for data, all thanks to an insatiable hunger for storage from artificial intelligence.
Now, take a look at this chart. Your eye might go to the biggest slice, but the real story is actually that smallest piece of the pie, data center. Yeah, it's the smallest for now, but get this, it grew a jaw-dropping 26% from the last quarter alone. That's the first sign that something huge is happening.
And this is why that little slice is exploding. SanDisk is now forecasting that data center demand is going to grow by a staggering 40% in 2026. Just to give you an idea, we're talking about exabytes of data. That's a 1 with 18 zeros after it. A few months ago, they thought this number would be half that. The speed of this change is just incredible.
So, this leads to the most important question of the whole thing, for SanDisk and for the entire industry, really. Is this just a temporary spike, a flash in the pan, or are we watching a fundamental transformation take place right before our eyes?
And boom, here's the answer straight from the CEO, crystal clear. For the first time in history, AI data centers are about to become the biggest market for the memory that's in pretty much everything, overtaking the mobile phone market. Think about that. For years, it's all been about phones. Now, it's all about AI. This isn't just growth, it's a whole new world.
Okay, so if demand is just skyrocketing like this, it brings up a very logical, very urgent problem, doesn't it? Can the industry even make enough of this stuff to keep up? And the short answer is, nope, not for a while anyway. SanDisk's leadership couldn't have been clearer. They're telling everyone to expect demand to be way higher than supply for the rest of this year, all through 2026, and probably well into 2027. They're basically playing catch-up.
And this scarcity? It's changing the entire game. The old way of doing business, customers buying stuff quarter by quarter, haggling over price, that's going out the window. Now, huge clients are coming to them asking for multi-year deals, trying to lock in their supply all the way to 2027. They're just trying to secure their spot in line.
So what do you do if you're SanDisk? You can't just snap your fingers and build a dozen new factories. So how do you handle this insane demand? Well, their answer, the big bet they're making, is on technology. And at the heart of that bet is this thing called BiCS8. Think of it like their secret sauce. The easiest way to wrap your head around it is to imagine building skyscrapers. Instead of buying more land to build more buildings, you figure out how to build your skyscrapers much taller on the land you already have. That's BiCS8. It lets them cram way more storage into the same space.
So what does this tech actually let them do? Well, for one, it's enabling this huge shift to something called QLC storage. And what you need to know is that it's a super efficient way to pack in more data. And look at this, it's expected to basically double its share of the data center market by the end of 2026, going from about 20% to 40%. That's a massive change. And this is where the rubber really meets the road, the actual products. We are talking about 128 terabyte drives that are being tested by customers right now. And they're already planning for 256 terabyte drives to hit the market next year. I mean, the scale is just mind-boggling. This is the hardware that is literally going to power the AI boom.
All right, let's zoom out and pull all of this together. We've seen the crazy numbers, the AI demand, the supply crunch, the new tech. What does it all mean for the future of storage? Where is this all heading?
So here's the bottom line. First, this AI storage boom is not just hype. It's a once-in-a-generation tidal wave. Second, SanDisk is going all in, pivoting its whole company to ride that wave. Third, we're looking at years where supply is going to be tight, which is creating these new long-term partnerships. Fourth, advanced tech is the only way to even try to keep up. And finally, SanDisk feels pretty good that they're the ones who are going to win this race.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. You know, we spend so much time talking about the AI brains, the software, the models, the algorithms, but we kind of forget that all that genius needs a place to live. It all has to run on something physical. It's built on a foundation of memory. And as AI builds our future, you have to ask yourself, who is building the memory it's all built on? Because that is a very, very powerful place to be.